Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, and very happy New Year to you. The reason I'm saying very happy New Year because I hope in this new year 24, um, you guys do something which you have never tried before. And I want to start with your theme, which is the mirror. What do you see when you look at a mirror? Very obvious answer that you see your own image, right? And the image which you always think is a very good image. Nobody in this world, the biggest lie in this world is a mirror. Because when you look at a mirror, there is nobody in this world who thinks I am not looking good. Yes, you may feel that there is something is not right, I must correct it. But basically, when you look at a mirror, you see the mirror. It's only when you look into a mirror, you see yourself. And that's where the difference between sadness and happiness, success and failure lies. That's where I think the understanding of yourself and the world and your relationship with this world and the cosmos lies. Looking at something or looking into something. So, what I'll try to do with you is we'll try to look into ourselves. So, what I call a mirror consciousness is the mirror which is telling you where you are at this moment in time. So, I would like to discuss what, when we say consciousness, the problem with the modern world is that we are told, we are made to believe that there is something called consciousness which you achieve when you meditate or when you are in the process of doing some yoga exercises, or consciousness is something which is for old people or troubled people. No, consciousness is something you cannot live without. Everybody is at some level of consciousness. And as your consciousness keeps evolving, when we say evolution of human beings, what does it mean? What has evolved? Your consciousness has evolved. So, as I have looked at this world, I think the first consciousness, where most of this world is living, the first stage of consciousness is tribal consciousness. Now, what is tribal consciousness? Just imagine when the world started, when human beings suddenly started standing on 2 feet and they started walking with a big brain. What they did, what's the first thing when we invented fire? What happened? We made small tribes, people who were there. And till date, if you'll find, most of this world is living in tribal consciousness. And what is tribal consciousness? Number one, the first rule of a tribal consciousness, if you want to judge, that you will think your tribe is good and the other tribe is evil. Do you relate with what I'm saying? The moment between Delhi and Bombay, if there's a discussion and you say Delhi is a great city and Bombay is not, or somebody says no, Bombay is a great city and Delhi is not, you are living in tribal consciousness. The moment you say India is a better country or America is a better country, the moment you say this faith, this religion is better than the other, this caste is better than the other, trust me, you are living in tribal consciousness, which is the lowest form of evolution. And most of the world is living there because that 1% of the world wants 99% of the world to live there. So my tribe is good, yours is evil. And what the tribal consciousness does, it forces others to conform to some kind of a belief, some beliefs which can be geographical, circumstantial, evolutionary. But in the end, all these beliefs, what do? They create an ecosystem. And you force people to belong to your ecosystem, and it does not let you explore any other ecosystem. So, you become very narrow, you become very limited because you are just exposed to your own ecosystem, and the ecosystem is not allowing you to go out, and it says it is your moral duty, it is your religious duty, it is your social duty, do it for the family, do it for the prestige of your family, of your clan, destroy the other tribe. And if you see, most of the world is doing exactly the same thing. Right now, as I stand here, the tribe of Russia is trying to destroy the tribe of Ukraine. The tribe of Hamas is trying to destroy the tribe of Jews and vice versa. In India, we are not far off, though we have not declared a war. But if you go out, there's a war between two religions all the times. And if you don't believe me, open any TV channel at 9 o'clock tonight, and you'll find somebody's trying to destroy the other tribe. When you say box, think out of the box. These are the boxes. These ecosystem, the belief system, that tribal consciousness is the box. And when you go to a corporate, it's also a tribe. If you join Coca-Cola, they want you to destroy Pepsi. That is also a tribe. Don't think that you have evolved in life. No, you have not evolved. The real evolution is when you change your consciousness. So level of consciousness, when you are tribal, then the myth of good versus evil will come into play, us versus them, and that's where the othering of a community comes into play, and that converts into kind of massacres, riots, and genocides, and exploitation and oppression of people. And 99% of the world is involved in that. And that's why people are always complaining that we are oppressed. There is nobody in this world today who's not feeling oppressed. Now, what are the examples of these tribes? Football clubs, cricket clubs. Tell me something, why people are rooting for Mumbai Indians and hating Chennai? Or why are we rooting for Team A and destroying Team B? All the clubs, all these organizations, the cults, the ideologies, the brands. My brand is Apple. Have you seen people who use Samsung fighting with Apple people? She's smiling. She knows what I'm talking about. So people are talking about their culture. People are talking about their religion. People are fighting basically about everything. And they say every other religion is false. My religion is the best. What I do is correct. My culture, my civilization is correct. Yours is wrong. The traditions of my family are right, traditions of your family are wrong. This good versus evil, us versus them, and you say that my God is the only God. You must have heard it many times. Jews say this to Christians, Christians say this to Islam, and Islam says it to all other religions. Buddhists, the man, Gautam Buddha. First of all, there was not one Buddha, there were many Buddhas. Nobody teaches you these things these days. And I believe that people are becoming dumber and dumber because of this tribe, because one tribe is teaching you wrong things. There was no one Buddha, first of all, if you want to understand Buddhism. Over 1,000 years, there were many, many Buddhas were born. Even you are a Buddha, I am a Buddha. Everybody who's born in this world is a Buddha. Buddha is a Sanskrit word which means the enlightened one, the person with ideas. And if you have ideas, you are Buddha. That's why my foundation is called I Am Buddha Foundation. Okay, so, but Buddha, who said there is no God, who said there is no mind, there is nothing. People made God out of him, and today Buddhists kill some Christians and Christians kill Buddhists, and they keep fighting if you go to the eastern part of the world. So when you start believing my truth is the only truth, you are tribe. Then you are living in tribal consciousness. So you are not allowed to believe in the plurality of cultures. You are not allowed to include somebody thinking, believing that we are equal. Even if you include as if you are superior. So it creates this ecosystem, this tribal consciousness creates kind of echo chambers where your own voice or your friend's voice are echoing in that. So one is echo chamber, one is echo chamber. And it's black and white. There are no gray areas here. Absolutely. If somebody says you are a young girl that you cannot marry into that tribe, it means your family is living with tribal consciousness. And because everything is in black and white, and they believe in spirits, they believe in black magic, they believe in all kinds of things which have no evidence and no proof. And to ensure that nobody leaves the tribe, they also have a book for this. If you go to any football club, they have a book how to behave and what to. If you go to an institute, they have their own books. If you go to religions, they have their own books. The first thing these people do is write book. And they say, this is the book of our tribe and this is the ultimate truth. Do you see some kind of stupidity in this or not? Do you see? Or am I really hurting your tribal consciousness? Okay, so let's agree that you are open to new ideas and different threatening ideas which can shake up your belief system. So you, by now you must have realized who is in tribal conscious and who is not. I promise you most of you are. Okay, don't deny that. The first step to move out of tribal consciousness is not to defend it and admit it. Say yes. Then you will be able to speak the way I speak fearlessly about anything in this world, because I am willing to admit, yes, I used to be there, now I am not. Then the second stage of evolution of consciousness is, second stage is power consciousness. And so there is somebody, and you say, I'm good, and the other person is bad. Okay, and you say that why can't I be the god of this tribe? If I can imagine God, why can't I be the god? Why don't people look at me like a god? I am a Hindu, therefore I don't want to comment on any other faith, because these days people are very sensitive. When I was student, people could speak whatever they wanted to, but the level of progress we have seen is that today you can't say many things. So I'll refrain myself. But being a Hindu, I can say one thing. You must have seen lots of these demigods in our own society. Even as I speak now, if you open your social media, you'll find lots of people are promoting themselves as if they are the word of God. They are the God. And they are rewriting their own religion. You will find this in sports also. You'll find this in Bollywood also. Bollywood is a tribe, film industry is a tribe, and you'll find one or two persons over there. They say, why don't I use my success to become God? Right? And they start doing God-like things because they beat gravity. They start flying in the air. You know, they start killing hundreds of people single-handedly without any gun. So they obviously are trying to be like gods. Sports people do that. Social people do that. Even social reformers after some time start believing that I am making so much of change in the society. Can I be God? And trust me, it's very difficult to escape this feeling. So you want the tribe alive? Why you want? Have you wondered, when most of the people know it's not good to be a tribe, still the tribes are alive more than ever, and they're fighting with each other more than ever. The reason is because these gods invest all their resources in keeping the tribe alive so that they remain God. The best way to destroy a god is to get out of tribal consciousness. Get out of power consciousness. The one I'm talking about right now is power consciousness. And they keep maintaining this myth every single day with advertisements, with everything. They say good versus evil, us versus them. Tell me something, why? Why an actor, which is the most humble job, an actor who portrays different characters, different emotions every single day, would like to be known? Don't mind, I'm not against anybody, but why anybody would like to pump in money to promote himself or herself as the king or Badshah of any industry? Think about it, it's a very subtle psychological thing. Why anybody would like to be called like God? Why thousands of people should lie down at the feet of somebody, and why anybody would accept this? Doesn't it look funny when people see their own photographs with hundreds of people with huge garlands and doing crazy kind of things? Literally crazy. If I show the same thing from a different angle, it will start looking like either a comedy or a tragedy. Still people do that, and we believe in that. You look at all the queues outside the temples. These are not the queues for the temples. These are the queues of people who have been created, in their mind a kind of a FOMO has been created by all these authorities who associate themselves with those temples or mosques or churches. So what kind of groups, you can say, have power consciousness? Media, number one, right? Media always wants to control your mind, always telling you that somebody else is wrong and I am the God. Algorithm. Today's biggest problem is algorithm. Algorithm is the most powerful tribe and the God of all tribes. It does not care about you. It does not care about anything in this world. All it says is, hell with you, go to hell. All I care about you is that these two tribes keep fighting all the times. And that is the reason you write good morning. You just write good morning. And somebody will come and say, अरे इंग्लिश में क्यों लिख रहे हैं, हिंदी में क्यों नहीं लिखते, ये गुड मॉर्निंग क्या होता है, आज क्या गुड है, आज तो मौसम ही नहीं अच्छा है. ओके, आप गुड क्या बोल रहे हैं, आप लिख दिए अच्छा बैड मॉर्निंग, कहकर देखो आ गए मनूज बैड मॉर्निंग बोल रहे हैं. नाउ दिस एटीट्यूड टू डिस्ट्रॉय समबडी ऑल द टाइम्स, द नीड to destroy everyone, the other person is coming from tribal consciousness, and algorithm is working as a god of that. Right? Now, after that comes what I call is a liberation consciousness. Now, liberation consciousness is basically where you say, hell with this tribe, hell with that tribe, hell with your consciousness, hell with this thing. I don't care about media, I don't care about this thing. I am born free. I don't care about your gods, I don't care about your customs. Whatever, yes, you are great. I'll take whatever is good from you. I'll leave whatever is bad. I don't hate anyone. I want to be friends with every single person in this world who's nice to me. This is liberation consciousness. When you start saying that why should I become an engineer just because everybody wants to be an engineer? No, I want to explore myself. I want to do what I like, and I want to become aware of myself. But the problem is, how do you become aware of yourself? How do you find what is the purpose of your life? How do you know what is your relationship with the cosmos? You don't have answers. So where do you go? You end up going to the person with the power consciousness. Then he starts telling you, see, this is how you can be aware of self, this is the wrong path, this is the right path, and again you fall in this trap, and which is why you will find even the most well-intentioned persons in this world ultimately fall in that trap. Now here is a practical problem. Can you escape algorithm? No. Can you destroy media? No. What will you do? Wherever you go, whichever university you go, whichever college you go, whichever group you belong, if you do TED, somebody will say no, some other thing is better. So you are always trapped in this, and therefore I realized the best level of consciousness is creative consciousness. So now let's talk about creative consciousness. Okay, so you have to understand one thing, there are 3 gifts you are born with. I used to always talk about 2 gifts. In most of my speeches I have spoken about it, but I recently realized actually we are born with 3 gifts, maybe more. I am telling you 3 which I have discovered. Number 1, God has gifted us with. You don't have to do anything. If you stay with the gifts of the God, you will live all your life with creative consciousness and with success and happiness. You don't have to bother about this. Number 1, that you can breathe. If you can ensure that you breathe well as long as you are alive, you breathe well, that's a gift. It will solve most of your problems because your body basically evolves with every breath you take. So if you are good air, for example, it's nothing wrong in saying that you live in a gas chamber here. It's the worst pollution I have seen in my life. Nothing wrong in saying that. You're not criticizing anybody. You don't even have to say it, but you have to understand that you are living in a gas chamber. Do you like it? If you are a creative conscious person, then you will find immediately a way to get out to some place where you can at least breathe good quality air. If you're not doing that, then you are not living in creative consciousness. The second gift is the gift of imagination. When you were a child, when you were born, and when you were young, if your parents locked you inside a room, dark room, black, dark, pitch dark room, what did you do? You cried for a few minutes, and then you started imagining some imaginary characters. You started playing with whatever is available over there, and then you create your own world. Okay, and what is creativity if not creating a new world? So, you were not scared of creation. You are born with imagination, but slowly as you go to schools and colleges, and more you are exposed to people with tribal consciousness, the first thing they attack is your critical thinking and your imagination. They don't want you to think for yourself and independently. They want you to adhere to certain norms, the ecosystem, the religion. But by religion, don't mean that. Religion means whatever the rituals of that place. You go to some schools, they say, okay, early morning do this. Some say do namaste. Some say hello, good morning. Somebody says do prayer for Jesus. Somebody says do prayer for Saraswati. So everybody has their codes. The minute you feel trapped in a code, you have to get out of there. Too much of coding of mind destroys imagination, and schools and colleges are anti-creativity. If you don't believe me, I can just cite one research from NASA. NASA conducted a very, very popular research and one of the most important studies in understanding the development of a child. So they conducted this research on some 20-30,000 students who are 5 years old, because they said if they are creative genius, then we can groom them, mentor them, and ultimately employ them in NASA when they grow up and they are graduates. So when they studied them, they found that 90% of the students were creative genius, 5-year-old, and the 2% were not creative genius because they had some motor coordination issues or autism or something like that, which nobody could help. Then they got excited. They conducted the same research on these students when they became 10 years old. But at this time, the statistics had changed, and I think only 30%, 33% students remained creative genius, rest were all creative duffers. Then they conducted the same research when they were 15-year-old. And this time, only 13% remained creative genius, rest had become creative duffers. And believe you me, they conducted the same thing when these students were 20, when they were graduating. Guess what was the statistics now? 98% were creative duffers and 2% were creative genius. And that is the reason I did not ask you in the beginning, where yesterday I was at Sri Ram College, wherever I go, whichever university I ask, how many of you are engineers here or doctors here, almost every hand goes up. But when I say how many creative people are here, only 7 or 8 hands go up, and most of them are girls because they can sing and dance and do some painting or some stitching. That's why they believe they are creative. But stitching, singing, music, painting is not creativity. Those are skills. Creativity is nothing but addition of value. And addition of value, the way you are listening to me right now can be creative. I know that when I am talking to you, I am talking very creatively because it is coming from my experience, my observation. There is no filter here. I am just telling you exactly the way I have added value to my life. Now, while listening, if you also listen with full awareness, like somebody does meditation, if you listen like that, then you are adding value. But after that, it's very important, whatever you listen, you delete it. If you keep in your mind, it will become stale, it will not remain creative anymore. And if you start following what I am telling you, then again you are going back to tribal consciousness. So the most important thing to remain creative is listen to everything, see everything, and destroy it. And the last gift is fearlessness. When you are born as a child, every single child in this world is born fearless. If you throw a child up in the air, it giggles, the child starts laughing. If I throw you up in the air, you'll start screaming. You'll be scared. So these three things. So when you maintain, you preserve your imagination all your life, when you are fearless with that imagination, you are not scared of anybody in this world in expressing your imagination. You live in your creative consciousness. And in the end, I'll tell you, I run a foundation. My production house is also called I Am Buddha. A lot of people on social media troll me, the tribal people, saying, "Arey, aap to Hindu hain, but you follow Buddha." These are dumb people. Buddha has nothing to do with any religion. It's a word out of Sanskrit. It simply means that you are born enlightened. You are born creative. And when you are born, when you have got creativity and fearlessness and the power of breathing, free of cost, you don't have to go to any school and colleges. Why are you wasting and destroying it? This is your biggest wealth. And there lies the difference between happiness and sorrow, Whatever you call success, I don't call car, bungalow a success, but between success and no success, you have to feel successful. You can never, ever, I can write in my blood, will ever feel successful if you are not creative. Which means if you don't realize your own Buddha, until you believe I am Buddha and you can tell in the front of entire world that I am Buddha. So therefore I am telling you, you are Buddha, I am Buddha, all of us are Buddhas. Let's try to evolve to creative consciousness, and I wish you all the best.